about slope-intercept form, and this is where you really start to understand what b represents. So we have the equation y equals mx plus b, and that's called your slope-intercept form, and that's actually on your star chart. The m is what we call slope, or the rate of change, which we've actually found before. Your b is called your y-intercept. The y-intercept of a graph is the value of where the line crosses the y-axis, or where the y-intercept is also the value of y when x is 0. So basically the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis, hence interception. Or if you're in a table, it's when x is 0. You can also have a horizontal line. In a graph of a horizontal line, the y value is constant, and therefore the equation of horizontal lines will always begin with y equals something x, or not x. It would just equal y equals, like, I can say a horizontal line would be y equals 3. And if you have a graph, you have 1, 2, 3, and that'll be your horizontal line. A vertical line will be the opposite. It will be x equals. So if I say x equals 3, and I have a graph, and this would be 1, 2, 3, that'll be your vertical line. Okay, so more into the slope-intercept form. So we're going to practice writing a equation in slope-intercept form from these problems. So it says a line has a slope of -9. So your slope always goes in front of the x, so it'll be -9, and has a y-intercept of 2, so it'll be +2. And your equation will be y equals -9x plus 2. A line has a slope of 4.5 and a y-intercept of -10. So your answer would be y is equal to 4.5x minus 10, because it's a -10, so you just do minus 10. A line has a slope of -5 and passes through the origin. So that means my answer would be y is equal to -5x and nothing else, because the origin is 0. So it would just be +0, which you do not need to write. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to practice plotting this on a graph. So I have the equation y equals -5x plus 7. So my slope is -5 and my y-intercept is 7. So I'm going to go to the y axis and find 7. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll say it's about here, and it's going downwards because it's at -5, and we just say something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as you understand where the y-intercept is. So this one has a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 0. So that means it goes to the origin. And since it's a positive, it's going upwards. Okay, there's nothing in front of this x, so that means your slope is 1 and your y-intercept is -5. So the -5 would probably be about right here. And since it's a positive 1, it'll be going upwards. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at graphs and find the slope and the y-intercept, and then write the equation from the graph. So the first thing I always do is find the y-intercept, because the y-intercept is just looking at the y-axis to see where the line goes through or starts. So this is where my y-axis is, and that's where it starts. So my y-intercept here is 3. Now I need to find my slope. So my slope, I need another point. So this would be another point. So I'm going to rise. So I rise 1 and I run 2. So my slope is 1/2. So my equation would be y is equal to 1/2 x plus 3. Okay, so now here, my y-intercept is 9. Oops, that's not where this 9 goes. My y-intercept is 9. So I need another dot to find the slope, which would be right here. And since it's going downwards, my slope will be negative. So I rise 1, 2, 3. And then I run 1 to the left. So my slope would be -3. So my equation would be y is equal to -3x plus 9. Okay, so now for number 9, my y-intercept is right here, which is -6. So then I need another dot, which would be right here. And since it's going upwards, it's a positive slope. So I rise 1 and go 1, 2, 3. So I rise 1/3. So my equation is y is equal to 1/3 x minus 6. All right. So then we'll do one more. So then this is going through the origin. So the y-intercept is 0. So then I need another dot to find my slope. And since it's going upwards, it's a positive slope. So we're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be 4 over 1 or 4. So my equation is y is equal to 4x. All right, so this is a horizontal line. So it doesn't have a slope. It has a slope of 0 and my y-intercept of 7. So my equation would be y is equal to 0x plus 7 or y equals 7. It's like what we talked about at the very start of our notes. All right, so slope here is undefined. And my y-intercept is nothing, is also undefined. And this is a vertical line, so my equation will be actually x equals whatever this number is, which is 5. So that'd be x equals -5. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to find the slope-intercept form from a table. So what is the slope-intercept? What is the slope of this table? So to do this, you have your x and this is your y. So to find the slope from the table, you need to do the change of y over change of x. So what changes between these two numbers? So what did I add to 6.25 to get to 10? So, or you just do 10 minus 6.25 and you get 3.75. And then what changes between these x's is plus 1. So my slope will be 3.75 over 1 or 3.75. My y-intercept is when x is 0. So I'm going to look at my x table and see that this is 0 right here. So whenever x is 0, what y equals is the y-intercept. So since y equals 6.25, then my y-intercept is 6.25. So my equation will be y is equal to 3.75x. And let me write this down here. Y is equal to 3.75x plus 6.25. Okay. Carly wants to buy a fish to keep in her room. At a local pet store, customers can pay $12.50 for a fish tank and then 20 cents each for each fish they purchase. So the slope is the rate of change, or what you're multiplying every time by, and which is 20 cents. So your slope will be 0.20. Your y-intercept is also where you start. So it says the first starting fee is $12.50 plus an additional 20 cents per fish. So this is $12.50 is your y-intercept. So my equation would be y is equal to 0.20x plus $12.50 for the fish tank. We've actually done these before, so this might be very familiar, but you just now know the vocab terms. Okay, Betty's Bakery uses chocolate chip cookies recipe that calls for a certain ratio of brown sugar to butter, as shown in the graph. What is the slope? So they give us 2 points here and here. So we're going to use these 2 points to find our slope. So we're going to go rise 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go run 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is 3/4. My y-intercept is 0 because it starts here at the origin. So my equation is y is equal to 3/4 x. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to find the slope and the y-intercept from these tables below. Sometimes they'll give you the y-intercept just in the table. If not, I'm going to show you how to find that. So here we have number 4. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out the change of y and the change of x. So we're figuring out what changes between this y. So it went from a negative 2.5 to a 6. So you're going to do 6 minus negative 0.25. So it means it added 6.25. And it went from a negative 5 to a 0, so it added 5. So my slope will be 6.25 over 5. And you divide that, and you get 1.25. So my slope will be 1.25. My y-intercept is when x is 0, and luckily they do that. They give it to us. So when x is 0, y is 6, so my y-intercept is 6. So my equation is y is equal to 1.25x plus 6. All right, so number 5, we're going to find the change of y over change of x. So the changing here is adding 40, then adding 2. So that'd be 40 over 2, which is 20. So my slope is 20. My y-intercept is not given to me on the table. So what I need to do is I need to figure out when x is 0. So I know every time x goes up 2, y goes up 40. So I need to make this x 0. So I need to go from a 2 to 0. So to get a 2 to 0, I subtracted 2. So now again, every time x went up 2, y goes up 40. So if I subtract 2 to go down to 0, that means I have to subtract 40. So 50 minus 40 is 10. So my y-intercept is 10. So my equation is y is equal to 20x plus 10. Okay, let's try that again. So we're going to find the change of y over change of x. So I am taking away 6, and then I'm adding 3 for my x's. So that's negative 6 over 3, which will be negative 2. So I need to get this x to 0. To get from 3 to 0, I subtracted 3. Well, I know every time I added 3, I subtracted 6. So I'm going to do the opposite, because if I subtract 3, I need to add 6. So it means it goes to 0. So that means it's going through the origin. So my equation is y is equal to negative 2x. All right, so one more time. We're going to find the change of y. So this is adding 1/5 for every 1x. So it'd be 1/5 over 1, which is just 1/5. Or you can write 0.20. It doesn't matter. And then my y-intercept is when x is 0, y is 1. So my equation would be y is equal to 1/5 x plus 1. All right, so now these are some more word problems. So it says Danny is diving for rings at the bottom of a pool and is 8.7 feet below the surface of the water. He grabs an ascent, which means to go up 1.3 feet per second. Write an equation to represent the relationship between x and y. So my b will be negative 8.7 because that's where he's starting. He's at the bottom of the pool. And his slope is adding 1.3 feet per second. So your equation will be y is equal to 1.3x minus 8.7. All right, number 9, Maria is saving to buy a new car. So far she has $12,350 in her savings. She plans to save $500 each month. So your equation would be y is equal to 500x plus the $12,350 she has already saved. A tree planted in Jake's front yard is 5.25 feet tall. Jake is told that the tree should grow a fifth inch each month. Let x represent the number of months and y represent the height of the tree. So y is equal to 1/5 x, because that's how much it grows each month, plus the additional plus the height it was already previously. And you can always make this into decimals if you want. You can write y is equal to 0.20 x plus 5.25 or 5.25. And I've made that big space in between. And then that is how you do y-intercept. All right. Thank you, guys.